As I'm sure you know, there's been a huge spike in depression, really throughout the world. And unfortunately, there isn't a lot of Christian help. There aren't a lot of Christian resources to help the church minister to this situation. And I'm afraid the consequence of that is that there's not a lot of understanding of depression in the Christian community. There's not a lot of sympathy, therefore. And also, there's a lot in the Bible and in the church, resources that are going unused, untapped. And Christians are therefore turning away from the church and seeking help from secular books, secular counselors. So that's one of the reasons why I wrote Christians Get Depressed Too, hope and help for those who are suffering with depression. This is a biblical and a Christian look at depression. It's biblical in the sense that I look at a number of Bible passages in the book and try to bring the resources of God's truth to bear in depression. It's also biblical in the sense that it gives us a filter with which to read science and other helps in the world so that we don't let in anything that is dangerous, but also so that we do let in what is helpful and consistent with the Word of God. So it's a biblical and a Christian book. It's therefore reliable. It's also a holistic and practical book. You might hear, oh, it's a Christian and biblical book, and say, oh, are you saying depression's all spiritual? No, I'm not. Of course, there can be a spiritual cause, and there's often a spiritual component. But we need to also look at other areas in terms of causes and cures, and that's why this book is holistic. We look at the physical, the emotional, the mental, the relational, the spiritual. And hopefully it's practical as well. It gives a number of doable steps and gives a number of doable strategies for dealing with depression. You might think, well, that's an awful lot. You know, you're trying to be biblical and Christian, you're trying to be holistic and practical. How can a depressed person read such a big book? Well, if you look at it, it's not very big at all. It's 100 pages and pretty big typing in it. It's very short and it's very simple. It's not going to answer all your questions, but it'll answer the main ones. And it's been written with the depressed person in mind, the person who really can't read an awful lot, and therefore it's sort of like an emergency treatment for depression. It's short and it's simple. It's written in language that will hopefully be accessible to a wide range of people, educational attainments and so on. We've got a big problem, big spike in depression, not a lot of Christian resources. This little book is reliable, it's holistic, and it's accessible. And therefore I hope that you'll support the publishers as they translate this and try and get it distributed in Ukraine and beyond. And that it will help to address some of the problems that the church is facing with depression. It will increase understanding and sympathy. It will make available the resources of the Bible and the church to Christians, and it will stop Christians from turning to dangerous secular advice and input. Christians get depressed too, and you can help give hope to those who are suffering in this way.